Is Sony teasing a big PlayStation showcase? Let's talk about that. We got an update on the Game Awards that is of course coming up. Xbox talks about their future plans, and we got way more gaming news to go over. So sit back and let's go. Starting with Crimson Desert, one of my most anticipated games of 2025. The sword fighting martial arts combat of course looks awesome. The big open world looks really fun to explore, especially because you got a lot of freedom in movement. Like, I really hope this delivers, but them going to every gaming event with many playable demos makes me hopeful. Like, it shows that they are proud and not afraid to let people play an early version. We still don't know when the game officially launches though, but that will likely change soon, as during an investor call they noted that they are nearing the completion of the game development. So that is great news, and earlier they said regarding the pre-registration and launch schedule that they are planning to do so with an opportunity event that can actually lead to many pre-sales. And this has to be the Game Awards on December 12th. That's the only big event left in the year. So a release date trailer during that show for Crimson Desert makes a lot of sense, and I'm actually expecting big things from this event, as there are many 2025 games that we still don't know a lot about, but that might already launch in that first half or summer window. When the new Mafia was announced in August during Gamescom, they said that they would have a new information soon, so I can see that happen at the Game Awards, just like Ghost of Yotei. Hogwarts Legacy is dropping DLC in 2025, would of course be a big announcement at the Game Awards. There are many, you could say too many games coming in February that probably want another spot in the spotlight, like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds. Fingers crossed that we see something new for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and a very high chance that we see the new game from the It Takes Two team with Joseph Fares, of course, as that seems to be coming before the end of March. I will do more in-depth predictions as we get closer to December 12th, so stay tuned for that. Of course, let me know what you hope to see at the Game Awards in the comments. For me, Wonder Woman is totally up there. I'm holding my fingers crossed. And this Monday, the nominees will actually already be announced for the awards. I think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor, and Astrobot seem like sure bets. Helldivers 2 could get some love. I hope Black Myth Wukong is nominated. But we also learned that the Elden Ring DLC, or actually any DLC, can be nominated for Game of the Year as well, which is kind of crazy. So I think Shadow of the Erdtree might get a nomination. Of course, also curious what the 6 games you think that will be nominated are. Let me know in the comments. I will of course be mostly watching for the new reveals, and seeing Fable would be awesome, as that's totally the Microsoft game that I'm looking forward to the most. Although the new Doom looks of course awesome too. Again, 2025 is going to be crazy. And we already know that Doom the Dark Ages will come day one to PS5. Indiana Jones will of course launch in December on Xbox and PC, and in the spring on Sony's platform. And this week Phil Spencer said that there are no red lines over any Xbox game coming to Nintendo or PlayStation, even the next Halo. We talked in a previous Sunday video about the fact that Halo is switching to Unreal Engine, which would also make it easier to port to PlayStation, and that is likely one of the bigger reasons for this switch. But yeah, Starfield on PS5 next year seems like a given. And I got more info on Xbox Future all around the new ad that they put out, where they basically showcased that the Xbox is not only a console anymore, but also your TV, phone, or PC gaming handheld. We already knew of course that this was the case, but yeah, now we really see Microsoft pushing that. They're not trying to compete with Sony in the console race anymore. They lost that war. But this Stadia model has not been proven either. Like, will people really get a Game Pass subscription for $20 a month and a separate Xbox controller to play these games through streaming if they did not care about getting a console? Now, maybe Call of Duty is the puzzle piece they needed. Maybe Microsoft is trying to get GTA 6 on xCloud next year, so they are the cheapest way to play that game. I hope they're doing that, because that would really turn some heads. But so far, we've not seen this model being lucrative at all. Now, all this does not mean they will stop making consoles. They are even looking into a dedicated handheld, although that is still far away. Now, other interesting things from the different Phil Spencer interviews are, for one, that not every game needs to have expansions. It just depends on if it makes sense for the project. He talked about Avowed, and that wasn't delayed out of 2024 for quality concerns, but simply because of other releases that it would be competing with. But it totally would have been better if they launched that game last week instead of on February 18th, because now it's sandwiched between Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Like a Dragon, and Monster Hunter Wilds. Now they did announce a premium edition with 5 days early access, so you can play the game on February 13th already. But yeah, I really wish them the best. I don't think this is going to be successful. But yeah, it seems like that game is not moving out of February. Kingdom Come, not either. So it's going to be a bloodbath for sure. Steven Datillo also asked Phil Spencer about Black Myth Wukong. Do you know if you're getting Black Myth Wukong on Xbox at some point? I do know. Gamefile, are you getting it? Spencer says, I can't announce that. You would hope that they bring it over at some point, right? That they secured it at some point. Maybe that's also an announcement at the Game Awards, because on December 12th is also when the game will release on disc on PlayStation. So at least more people will get to play it through the physical way, but I hope on Xbox, of course, they get to play one of my favorite games of the year as well. Now, as you might know, I'm still doing a giveaway for an upcoming game of your choice. You can enter via the link in the pinned comment if you want. Be a subscriber if you want to participate. Leave a like on this video, of course, would really help me out. And overall, just subscribe, because we post one of these gaming news roundup videos every Sunday. And yeah, as I already said, just like Xbox, Sony also published their PlayStation commercial for the holiday season, and it does not include any game. Just that it's okay to still feel like a child and have fun. I guess that's one strategy if you don't have any big games out during this season. But I would not be talking about this trailer if it weren't for this shot of this strange sign with an 03/12/2024 as the time. Because this has many people thinking that Sony is teasing a potential event for December 3rd, 2024. And I would love that, as we're due for a big Sony showcase like we had in the early years of the PS5. But this is likely just a nod to the 30th anniversary of the brand. December 3rd, 1994 was the day the original PlayStation released in Japan. Now, it would be cool if they celebrated that with a ton of announcements, but that is just not how Sony operates these days, as they're very quiet and only announce things when they are close to being released. Also, Jeff Grubb, who has been correctly reporting on every recent State of Play, has been saying that he hasn't heard anything about a PlayStation showcase or State of Play in December, so I'm not expecting anything. Like, if Sony will show new things, it will be at the Game Awards on December 12th, where they last year announced the God of War Ragnarok Valhalla DLC, which was a nice surprise, as it then also launched a week later. So I'm sure they will have some big things at that show. Sony recently said that they will have major single-player game titles every year from next financial year onwards, so starting April 1st, 2025. We of course know Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yotei for 2025, likely Wolverine in 2026. We now kinda once again got confirmation that the Demon's Souls remake studio Bluepoint is doing a new IP. This is also according to Jeff Grubb. So that will launch at some point, maybe in 2025 or 2026, and then a bit later is Naughty Dog's next game, probably also a new IP. Neil Druckmann this week said that they've been working on this game since 2020, so immediately after The Last of Us Part 2 came out, and while Sony doesn't have him control how he's going to announce it, they gave him full control over the game itself. Again, hinting more and more that this is going to be a new IP, although they already hinted at the fact that The Last of Us Part 3 is also happening, but likely after this. We had 4 years between Uncharted 4 and The Last of Us Part 2. A new IP of course takes more time, so I would not be surprised if they're aiming for the end of 2026, although I think 2027, like in the summer, is also a possibility, as they of course cancelled the Last of Us multiplayer game that they've been working on in between that time. But yeah, I'm excited for sure, and next to single player games every year, Sony will of course also keep launching live service titles, and Horizon Online might be coming out in 2025. Maybe you saw the news, which was based on what I found and shared on Twitter, but on the official Guerrilla Games job page, we see that they're looking for a release QA intern who has to be available for an internship during the first half of 2025. And during this internship, they will acquire both theoretical knowledge and practical experience to ensure the game is prepared for launch. So it seems like it will release shortly after. Could also be a Game Awards reveal on December 12th, as it would be smart for them to announce it and also get feedback from people ASAP to avoid another Concord situation. I, by the way, went more in depth on Horizon and the state of the franchise now that the Lego game, of course, is just out and not doing very well on Steam at least, and probably elsewhere too. Like, I'm worried Guerrilla Games is too aggressive, which might end up hurting the franchise and the potential instead of helping them. You can watch that video if you are curious on that JorRaptor React channel via the link in the description, and would of course be awesome if you subscribed there as well. Many cool videos, if I say so myself, are up there already. Now, Stellar Blade, one of my favorite games of the year that I don't think will get much love at the Game Awards, but hope I'm wrong. Well, it's coming to PC in 2025, and they are expecting the PC version to perform even better than the console version. And that would be a huge win, as the PS5 version now sold over 1 million units. I mean, the modding community will of course totally help sell this game. First though, we're still getting some updates for the PS5. This coming week, on November 20th, the Nier Stellar Blade crossover will be added, which will of course have many new outfits. A Mills shop will appear in the game. Seems like you will need to have access to the open zones in order to access this. We'll have a video on it, so stay tuned to the channel. And the day after that, on November 21st, Star Wars Outlaws will be getting the biggest update to date that should include some meaningful upgrades to the combat, stealth and controls. We'll also be covering that, and that same day the game launches on Steam as well, way faster than any other Ubisoft game. And the first DLC, Wildcard, launches on November 21st as well. And I know many people are excited about Stalker 2 on November 20th. I really hope that delivers, as I wasn't impressed with what they had at Gamescom last year, but recent previews were better. So I hope it's great, but I remain reserved. I'm not expecting a lot from it. And we'll of course have a news roundup like this at the end of the week. We'll be streaming. It's gonna be great. So subscribe to not miss anything. A like on the video would be awesome. And check out our recent Ghost of Yote video with some small new info and some other finds. It's a fun video by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you very soon. Goodbye.